We're coming back with more Death Curse Society, ladies and gentlemen, and we've got a shit ton to talk about right now. We're getting into some stories around the campfire.
Ooh.
First up on Stories Around the Campfire, we're going to talk a little bit about another movie on Shudder. Was released recently. It's called After Midnight. When his girlfriend suddenly disappears, leaving a cryptic note as her only explanation, Hank's comfortable life and his sanity begin to crack. Then, from the woods surrounding his house, something terrible starts trying to break in. Let's get this one started. Colonel, you want to jump in on this first?
Man, I don't want to give too many details because I know we got to rank it and everything else, but I dug this fucking movie. Again, this is another one where the synopsis sets it up where it's not quite the same. It's okay. Guy's girlfriend left. He keeps saying, hey, I got a monster. No one in town fucking believes him. You're just depressed. You're drinking all the time. But I think it did a really great job handling something we rarely see, a man's point of view after the end of a serious relationship. I think that's what I really dug about this movie, because we never get that point of view ever, You don't show feelings and this and that. You got to be tough. Well, this motherfucker took it hard.
Right.
And then, I love his interaction with his best friend, Wade. I thought that was fucking hilarious. I think we all know at least one guy like that. It's just really good. Granted, it started getting a little cheesy towards the end, but then you get a nice little payoff to make up for that cheese.
Since you brought him up, I'm just going to say it. Wade may be my new favorite supporting character in a movie anymore. I mean, that guy was great. He added some perfect belly laughs at just the right time every chance he was on screen. And I just thought the actor that played him was great. The character was written well. Very good casting. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. It's like even the face he was making at the end of the movie was fucking hilarious and perfect.
Dude, I mean, I will think something's funny when I'm watching like a movie or TV, but I very rarely will laugh out loud, especially if I'm watching something by myself. Very seldom. I was cackling at this film. There were several moments that just got to me. And I can't remember the exact line, but when he drinks the mat shot, they're just like, so what'd that taste like? And he's just like, it tasted like going fucking blind or something like that. I was like, that's brilliant, man.
These characters are likable and pretty funny, and they're good old boys, and they like to drink. And yeah, he's going through some shit, and that's kind of where the journey takes you. Is this shit in his head, or is he really going through some shit, or is there something happening? Because, there's some slight evidence, but there's never any real proof. You start to learn why things went south. They do a lot of, it's like you're watching the scenes, you're looking at a flashback, and then lightning cuts to current. Mm-hmm. You're almost kind of like, whoa, you're taken aback. So once you get used to that, but you'll start to recognize when he's in the current and when he's not, full beard and stuff like that. They forgot they were making a horror movie at one point for a good 35 minutes. And man, this is...
It wasn't that long. It just felt that long.
It was long, too long. Based on the ending, obviously there was something there. It wasn't in his head. That's when I'm like, all right, well, what the fuck is this? So
right.
That's the problem with it. But I mean, it is good up until, that first 45 minutes is excellent.
Right.
And that's when it gets a little weird, and then straight up lost me by the end. I'll say it. There are some good things about this we can get into, but I mean, I was a little disappointed with this one.
I enjoyed this movie a lot. And the reason I enjoyed it was, like Colonel mentioned, it's got a lot going on with it. There's a lot of different elements to this movie. It's not just a straightforward horror flick. It's part horror, part romance, a lot of comedy, and weirdly touching at times. And Colonel also brought this up too. It actually shows what a guy, or at least some guys, kind of go through whenever they do go through an emotional breakup, or lose somebody, or think they're losing somebody. He didn't even really know he had lost her. He just assumed he had lost her, and he wasn't quite sure, and he still was going through this emotional roller coaster. Written and directed by Jeremy Gardner, who also stars as Hank. This film combines a lot of different genres to keep you wondering what's next. And that's one of the things I liked about it. I mean, when you go into a horror movie, you're waiting for the jump scares. You're waiting for that creature to appear behind somebody. And yeah, you're kind of waiting for that here too. But then they just smack you in the face with Wade coming out of nowhere talking about some bullshit. He has certain memories of Abby that just make him remember things. And the way they shot the memories, I really enjoyed a lot.
I get that. And those memories, you know, at the end of those memories, he snaps back into being an attack again, you know, and that was the startling parts.
Well, and I thought the actors were just wonderful and portray some very familiar scenes for a lot of us. I think this is one of the moments that took you out, Ziggy, but there is one scene, and I timed this. It's 14 minutes from opening shot to closing shot. It's one fucking shot. I thought that was masterful. I mean, it was played out like a monologue. And I don't know if you noticed this. It's very subtle, but the first 10 minutes of it, the camera is just slowly moving in. What a lot of times what that signifies is the director is trying to draw you in to, you know, attach to these characters a little bit. About 10 minutes into that shot, it stops and hovers for a second. And then Abby's monologue takes a shift. She starts kind of questioning their relationship and throwing it on him to his face. And the camera just slowly starts backing up a little bit. And man, I know it's just simple filmmaking techniques. It's day one filmmaker school at NYU. I understand that, but Jesus Christ, this was effective and it worked so fucking well.
Exactly. Like when it's executed perfectly, like that scene. I'm a pretty emotional fucking guy. I try to, you know, I don't portray that too much. So I think that's probably why I was really digging the movie. But in that scene, you keep zooming in, and a majority of us have all had this talk with somebody where you literally have to sit down and listen and talk it out.
Yeah.
That execution was fucking perfect. God, I'm turning into fucking Crank with this movie. What the hell?
Obviously, I recognize all of that, but, you know, dude, I'm on a fucking horror subscription service looking for a horror movie, and I'm got a monster movie build here that is very light on the fucking monsters and shit. So, you know what would have worked with that scene for me? One fucking perfectly timed jump scare, or even a wine bottle falling off and smashing just to smash you out of it, just to get you off guard. I'm sorry, man. I did not sign up for a fucking romantic drama.
Dude, I get that. I get that, but in that scene where they're having that talk, yes, this romantic drama worked for this film. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally, you see the monster twice. Spoiler, you see the monster fucking twice. Mm-hmm. Other than that, it's all up to your fucking imagination, which is fantastic, because that first reveal the monster was done, it was awesome.
Yeah, I like the way they did that too.
Granted, I see why, because once you got a good look at the monster, it doesn't look all that great. But it still fucking works, man.
No, don't get me wrong. A part of me wishes there would have been more horror elements in this, but I was happy with the end product, big time. It's quite different from so many things that we've seen lately. And that's one of the things that pleased me the most about it. It's just the difference of it. But I completely disagree with you, Ziggy. I think that scene, that 14-minute scene where they're just talking, they're sitting in the doorway talking, is perfect because it portrays, at least in my experience. Now, granted, everyone has their own weird experiences with breakups and relationships and everything. From my experience, it portrayed the woman just about right, that she had gotten to this breaking point, had to get away for a little bit, comes back and tries to talk it out. And the guy starts off sarcastically answering her fucking questions and just kind of laughing it off, drinking his beer, blah, 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 blah. Almost not listening, or acting like he's not listening, but he is listening, but he has nothing to say in return. And that dynamic between those two characters, they nailed it in that scene. And kudos to Jeremy Gardner and everybody on this crew, because I just thought this was that scene alone I could watch over and over. I just thought that was great. Now, the monster could have used you could have done a little bit better piecing together pieces from like your Spirit Halloween store to create this monster. But Ziggy, I'll start with you. What do you think of the monster's look?
The first reveal is shocking and great. Just he's walking around pretty much in between a cornfield, and only light is from the muzzle of his shotgun. So you just catch a glimpse, and it's shocking. It's great. Got a lot of pricklies on him, almost like a porcupine. It's all right. There's much fucking worse monsters out there, but you know what? I needed with this movie, this particular movie, and you guys are right. That scene was masterfully executed. Aside from the fact that I can't get over that this guy looks exactly like a cross between Bam Margera and Matthew Lillard. I couldn't get past that for the whole fucking movie. But I mean,
don't forget, there's one, and throw in our buddy and viewer Chris Space. I swear to God, sometimes I saw that dude look just like.
I didn't think of that till right now. That is funny. But anyway, yeah. But I mean,
that's Phase in 10 years, man.
Yeah, man. Wow. That's spooky. But I, again, came in looking for a horror movie, and one fucking Dixie Cup bit of horror I had up to that point wasn't enough for me. And even with that ending, with a little bit of blood that was added, this was a good movie. But a horror movie is a stretch, man. And that's what I stand on.
Like I said, I mean, I still laughed when the second reveal of the monster, when it showed up. Because that is like I didn't see it coming. No, I think nobody saw it coming. That was the perfect jump scare. I mean, I wasn't scared. That was more funny than anything. But it's like, once you really got a good look at this monster, it's like those memes where like, oh, I want to go to McDonald's. We got McDonald's at home. It was like a knockoff. I can make you a Nightbreed costume at home, sweetie. That's what it looked like. So that was a little disappointing, but
yeah, you get shocked, and then you see the monster, and you're like, that? That's what he's scared of?
Some of the other things, too, like the red herring that is thrown out during your epic scene, kind of insinuating she's the monster. That would have almost been more of a better payoff. Executed well, but substantially lacking in the horror field.
You keep going back to that point.
I have to, because I'm trying to say I appreciate the effort that went into creating this movie. I'm just disappointed with what the final thing was.
Well, let's get to that. Let's get to the rating for it. Colonel?
I agree with Zach. It was very light on the horror, but he said he wanted a horror movie with horror. Well, I would have liked that with A Nightmare Waits, and that's not even shitting on that movie. To me, there was no horror in that movie.
Right.
At least this one had an element of horror. It was horror light. The acting was so great. The cast was so relatable. I'm still going to rank it in 7.5. I fucking love this movie. I'll be honest. I did not expect to like a movie on this Shudder list as much as I like this one. I fucking loved it. I will probably buy this movie.
For reasons previously stated, again and again, a 6.
I had too much fun with this movie. It is light on the horror. I will agree. I think adding some more to that might have changed it a little bit, but I also think adding more horror to it would have changed the overall tone of the film. And there was something about the tone of this film I just dug. Like I said, that 14-minute scene grabbed me, held me, and I loved it. It cuddled me. It kept me warm. It spoon-fed me. It was just such a perfect fucking scene. I just loved it. I'm going to rank this with an 8. Like Colonel said, I'm definitely going to buy this movie. That's After Midnight, gang. It's available on Shudder right now. Make sure to go and check it out and let us know what you think. I really want to hear some of your thoughts on this one, especially.
And that's the end of that story around the campfire, but sit tight. We got more coming for you in just a couple days. Stay tuned.
We have such sights to show you.
Hi, this is Doug Bradley, Pinhead from the Hellraiser movies, and you're watching Death Curse Society. You better keep watching, or I will tear your soul apart.
What up? It's the Colonel Death Curse Society. If you enjoyed that video, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And I punched the numbers on my computer. The computer don't lie. If you don't subscribe and watch more videos, you may be a dead fuck. So be sure to click over here for more videos from Death Curse Society.